Good morning, children. Today we are going to start a new chapter from your history book, When People Rebel. Let's start. In 1857, 100 years after the British had established their rule in India, the East India Company faced a massive revolt by the people, which threatened the very existence of the company's rule. The revolt began as a mutiny of the Indian soldiers on 10th May 1857 in the Meerut cantonment area. The mutiny soon spread to other parts of the country and became the first united effort by the people to oust the British from India. So let us just discuss some of the causes, okay, why this situation came about, why the revolt took place. Policy and the people. Nawabs lose their power since the mid 18th century. Nawabs and Rajas had seen their powers reduce. They had regularly lost their authority and honor. Disrespectful letters were written to the Nawabs. Even the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Jafar, his descendants were not recognized by the company, by the British government. The freedom of the rulers were reduced. They could not have any independent armed forces also. The subsidiary alliance we have seen, how in which an Indian ruler was not supposed to have his own independent army. He would be held by the British, and for the army being provided by the British, they would have to pay some rental. And if they are not able to pay the rent, then a part of their territory would be thus taken away. Doctrine of lapse was also one such policy in which if any Indian ruler who died without male successor or the male descendant, then his whole kingdom would lapse to be the Indian rulers. It would be automatically become the part of the British government, right? Misgovernance. Yes, Awadh was a province of Mughal Empire under the administration of Nizam and Nawab appointed by the emperor. Awadh was annexed on grounds of being misgoverned in 1856, and the ruler Nawab Wajid Ali Shah exiled to Calcutta. The British wanted to annex Awadh because it would complete the process of annexations. The area was very fertile and good for producing cotton and indigo. It could be developed as a market as well. The British also showed disrespect to Bahadur Shah Jafar, the Mughal emperor. As I said just now also, Lord Hastings stopped the custom of presenting gifts to Mughal emperor, and later his name was removed from the coins. Lord Dalhousie even chalked out a plan to deprive him of his fort and kingship. This turned Muslims, who regarded the Mughal emperor in high esteem, against the British. We've been discussing the causes. Just now only we discussed the company, the political causes. The company wanted to bring the Mughal dynasty to an end. They did not want to accept anyone as a ruler after the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Jafar. Right? We have discussed the point number 3 also. Governor General Dalhousie announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah Jafar, the family of the king would be shifted out of the Red Fort. In 1856, Governor General Canning decided that Bahadur Shah Jafar would be the last Mughal king, and after his death, none of his descendants would be recognized as kings. They'll be just called princes. Right? Let us discuss some of the economic causes. Every section of Indian people was unhappy with the British rule because the rulers lost their freedom and territories. The old zamindars, they also lost their lands to the new zamindars. Peasants were fed up of oppression and high revenue. Artisans and craftsmen, they lost their livelihood due to deindustrialization. Let us discuss the military causes. Grievances among the soldiers had been brewing for some time. Some of them were: first was, no Indian could rise above a Subedar. Second point, Indian soldiers were not given batta or foreign travel allowances. Point number third, soldiers had to cross the seas which they considered polluting. And point number four, there was a rumor that the Enfield rifles used by the sepoys were greased with pig and cow's fat. This upset the sentiments of both the Hindus and Muslims. So these military causes we discussed. Socio-religious causes we discussed. We find the British, in their attempt to civilize the backward people, introduced a number of reforms which the Indians felt was an undue interference on their customs and traditions. Some of these reforms were abolition of sati in 1828, remarriage of widows, English as a medium of instruction in 1835, introduction of railways in 1853, and there was a law passed in 1850 that allowed conversion to Christianity to inherit, that allowed the converts to Christianity to inherit property of their ancestors. So there were many reports of attacks on Christian missionaries also, because a lot of people felt agitated when they were asked to convert to other religion. How mutiny became a popular rebellion. On 29th March 1857, Mangal Pandey, a young soldier, rebelled against the British in Barrackpore. He was brought to trial and was executed. And this event triggered a chain of events among the sepoys which led to the outbreak of the revolt. The revolt started as a mutiny of the sepoys of Meerut on 10th May 1857. They released imprisoned sepoys, burned properties of the British, and acquired guns and ammunition, determined to end Firangi Raj. From Meerut, the sepoys moved to Delhi, where they declared a reluctant Bahadur Shah Jafar. He was unwilling initially to take over the charge, the last Mughal emperor, as their leader. Bahadur Shah asked people from all walks of life to join the revolt and thereby help in ending the British rule in India. The revolt soon spread to other parts of the country, with people of towns and villages rallying around local leaders who were ready to fight the British. Some of these leaders were Nana Sahib, who was leading from Kanpur, Birjis Qadir from Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal. His mother also played an active role in organizing the revolt, Rani Lakshmi Bai and Tatya Tope from Jhansi, Rani Avanti Bai Lodhi from Ramgarh, MP. The British had not anticipated a revolt of such magnitude by the Indians and were totally unprepared. The rebels defeated the British in several areas. Asmadullah Shah, a Maulvi from Faizabad, predicted the imminent end of British rule. This encouraged more people like Bakht Khan from Bareilly, Veer Kunwar Singh from Bihar, etc. to provide leadership and garner forces for the revolt. How the company fights back. After the initial shock, the British reacted by getting extra reinforcement, extra forces from Britain. They started taking control over transport and communication, thereby cutting off the supplies and information on the movement of the rebels. They passed many new laws which made it possible for them to punish the rebels easily. Delhi was recaptured by the British in September 1857, and Bahadur Shah was exiled to Rangoon which is in Myanmar. In 1858, Rani Lakshmibai was defeated and killed. The revolt was put down with great brutality. Most of the rebels were tried and hanged. The British succeeded in breaking the unity of the people of Uttar Pradesh by promising to return the property of the big landholders. Loyal landholders were rewarded while others were punished. Let me talk about some of the changes that were brought about after 1857. The rule of East India Company now ended, and India came directly under the British Crown through an act in 1858. The Governor General was given the title of Viceroy. Rulers were given back their territories provided they acknowledged British supremacy and remained subordinate to the British Crown. The ratio of Europeans to Indian soldiers was increased. No Indian was given any key positions. More soldiers from among the Gurkhas, Pathans, and Sikhs were recruited, while those from the rebelling states were reduced. The British introduced the divide and rule policy, blaming the Muslims for fomenting the revolt. They were held responsible for fomenting the revolt. The British decided to stop interfering in India's customs and traditions because it cost them heavily. In India, and we also see that in order to gain a loyal class, the rights of zamindars and landlords were protected. The revolt marked a turning point in the history of India. Thank you so much.